Hi, I'm going to show you how you can code on float arrow. Personally, I think this is the most complicated part, but it's not that complicated. Before we're going to do anything, I'm going to create another sprite. Hover over your cursor to bottom right corner and choose paint. I'm going to click the line tool and I can change the thickness to 8 or anything you want. You can change any color. I might change some color quite bright so I can give people a reminder like this is going to be bottom. This line is going to be set at the bottom of the stage just to tell people or tell the game that you miss those arrows, the goals, and you're going to lose 1 point. So I'm going to add it in the bottom. Don't need to worry about if this is really bottom or not because you can of course adjust this. Now you can see this name sprite, I just call it miss bar, and I can definitely drag this, put it in the bottom. That's where I'm gonna put and miss bar. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go back to the float arrow because I have miss bar right now, and I am going to start with event green flag is clicked. And do you remember when I mentioned about it? For the arrow, you don't have to do any coordinate, and you can actually just code on this. Before you're gonna code, we go to motion, we go to XY. This XY, X needs to be aligned with the fixed arrows, any fixed arrows. For example, the up arrows, your X need to be aligned with the fixed arrow up. So you can click on this. This is like it's the X is minus 160. You have to do the same, but we're doing the fixed arrow right. So I click on fixed arrow right. Now you can see the coordinate, the X is 44. So I'm going to float arrow right. Choose this as 44. And then this, we want it to be hidden on the top of the stage. So I'm going to do as, because if you see that I drag this arrow, the higher I drag, the bigger the number is going to be. So I'm going to just leave it here, but I want to set it as the very top. Nobody can see it. So I'm going to do 240. Now if I click on this, it's kind of, you can see it, but still a little bit here. So what I'm going to do, go to looks, hide this. And then I can go to control, weight, go into operator, pick random. Here depends on how difficult you want your game to be. If you want a game to be super difficult, to drop a lot of arrows, very overwhelming, and you can make this wait time like gap would be very narrow. But if I wanted this to be just easy mode, I'm gonna just choose, for example, 1 to 8 seconds, and then we are going to create a set of arrows gonna drop. It's not gonna be just one arrow. So I'm going to go to control and create a clone of myself. This should be happening during the whole game. So I'm going to attach a forever frame there and put them together. This is only the beginning, but when I start the game, my game should start to clone. So when I start to clone, first of all, I need to show this characters. And it's gonna be like this. And I'm going to, if that's gonna be a little bit tricky, I go to operator. There are two things you need to know. First of all, if you're gonna start to create a clone, you need to know that you are not going to touch the bar, which is a miss bar, and you also don't want your arrows to touch anything else, not to the goal. So you want to keep dropping. You're going to set a condition of that. It's kind of complicated. Let me show you. You drag a knot and you drag or and you drag and. So there are two conditions. One is you are not touching this bar. You're not touching this bar. You're not reaching to the very end of the stage yet. So I'm going to sensing, touching miss bar. And the other condition is that even you're trying to play the game, but you miss this arrow. So while this arrow hasn't reached to the very bottom of the stage, you want this arrow just keep dropping. This is the other condition you're doing it now. So I am going to touch my fixed arrow right, and meanwhile my keyboard or my makey has been touched. So should it be the right arrow touched? And you are going to change Y to random because you want to make the game more randomly, and you want it just could be drop randomly. It doesn't need to be the same speed. And if you want to drop, like I mentioned, the lower you drag your character and the smaller the number is going to be. So if you want to drop, you have to do the minus. So you can do -2 to -5. The smaller the number is, which is -10, that means it's going to be faster how your arrow is going to drop. And then if I should have changed this to if then else. If it's not touching anything, if it's still dropping, then it's gonna just keep dropping. And otherwise, if it's touching, you're gonna get a 1 score. So if you're gonna go to and if you're touching sprite, or if you're gonna get keyboards, just duplicate this and get 1 score. Variable, change my score to 1. After this you finish, you're going to delete this clone, otherwise it will just all stack up by the end of the stage. This going to happen during the whole game. Again, put forever there. Now I have finished this like arrow part, and I can just drag and drop to different flow arrows. But things you need to know, first of all, change the coordinate. I'm doing the left arrow right now. I'm going to click on fix arrow left. The coordinate is 144, and I'm going to change this to 144, and I am going to change this. Should it be fix arrow left and left arrows, fix arrow left, left arrows. So you're just going to do the same thing with the rest of the arrows. So you see, now I have all of the scores. We will talk about rest of the things in next video.